Alrighty then. Live from Columbus, OH. This is Answering Your Financial Questions with Coach Steve Money. Did not have the planned after show today. So doing a 8 p.m. stream instead. Which is called Answering Your Financial Questions. That differentiates it from the Ramsey Show After Show, which comes on after the Ramsey Show that debuts, the newest one to YouTube, debuts at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, and it is over at 11:05 a.m. Eastern Time, and that's when the after show starts. So if it happens, and it should be happening tomorrow, almost certainly nothing will happen between now and then to make that not possible, and so that would be your September 19th. And I still don't know about next week, so that's up in the air. Answering your financial questions, though, Saturday and or Sunday, probably both, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Alrighty, for my financial content, hey, guess what? You're watching this on youtube.com/Coach Steve Money is my channel, and for my financial content, just scroll past the Oak Island and Skinwalker Ranch playlist. Then you'll see the Ramsey Show After Show playlist. There's a bunch in there. How many? There are 588 in there, and this is number 180, right? Yeah, this is 180. They keep moving around the thumbs up button. But please graze across that bad boy. You don't have to smash it. You can just graze it. As long as it changes colors on you, then you know it's good. Where was I? Oh yeah, today's 180. On the Answering Your Financial Questions streams. And the music playlist has 12 Ramsey adjacent songs, including probably what I'll say is the best one. You belong debt free. You belong debt free. Borrowing a little music from T Swizzle there. So, she might have made a penny or so from that. I believe hers is one where we split it. And so she might have made a penny from it. To go along with the rest of our billions, so I'm happy to contribute. Let's answer some questions. Shadow Drown, 1977. Cars, motors, wheels, value not more than 50% of your annual income. Yes, that is the advice. And I think I probably said this when I previewed the question. None of the crap that you type here is going to make that advice change. See, everybody is like when there's something they don't want to do with the Ramsey advice, that the Ramsey advice says to do, and they don't want to do it. They say, even if, blah, 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 blah. Yes, even if, blah, 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 blah. So let's see what it is, shall we? Open the whole thing so we get the entire I just don't want to do it his way stuff. Goodness, we can get all of that. That's Dave's rule of thumb. That's not his only rule. I mean, that's his advice. It's not just a rule of thumb. Rule of thumb is less stringent than the Ramsey advice. Rules of thumb, things could come up that would change the advice. Don't own anything with motors or wheels that have a combined value of more than 50% of your income. Yes, that is correct. So why are you the exception? Let's find out. Why is this a rule of thumb? Because he said so. If you don't like it, just do your own dumb crap. If your finances are fine, knock yourself out. But normally people come across Mr. Ramsey because their finances aren't fine. So if your finances aren't fine, shut up and follow the proven advice. 2 cars, a 2001 Holden Ute. That sounds expensive. and a 2018 Holden Commodore. I don't know what Holden is, but that sounds like, since I haven't heard of it, makes me think it's a very expensive car. Total value is around $35K nowadays. Okay, maybe not. I don't know who that, I mean, that's not a big manufacturer, or that's either a subsidiary of a big manufacturer, because I never heard of a Holden car. Maybe that's the designer, the engineer of it, and it's actually a Chrysler or something, who knows, one of the brand names that we all would have heard of. So 35K. So then if that's what it is, you would be you would have to make at least 70K per month if those are the only ones. I also have a mortgage of 61K on a property worth 800K. The repayment are 140 a week. The repayments on what? It's not repayments, it's just payments. 61K on a property worth 800K. I guess just the payments to the mortgage that has nothing to do with the amount of vehicles. I have 53K savings in a mortgage offset account. This reduces my monthly interest on my mortgage to around 70. Yeah, that is not the advice either. You're doing your kind of debt leverage there, having extra savings instead of putting that money on the mortgage and paying it off. That is not his advice either. So it just seems like you don't want to do the advice, my friend. So you don't have to do it. You don't have to ask why it's a rule of thumb. It's a rule of thumb for a reason, and apparently you don't care about it no matter what it is. Because I would say he's smarter about money than you are, and so you can keep doing your dumb crap if you'd like, but not do it. But then why post on here? Why? To prove how smart you are, or some kind of other bull crap like that? Get validation? I have 360K in super annuitation. Imagine that. You're doing everything that he doesn't advise. You're doing debt leverage. You have more cars apparently and he didn't even say that applies to him. So if he makes 70K a year, then he's fine with this much in cars. So I don't understand. People are just nutty. It's like, why are you worried about it? Live your life, man. Live your life. I have 53K in savings in a mortgage. Yeah, you wouldn't do that. You would not do an annuity either. That's dumb as crap. My take-home pay, $11.50 a week, or just under $5K a month. So that's $60,000. So yeah, he doesn't have as much money. Okay. I mean, have tons of equity in the mortgage on a property worth 800K. Doesn't say he owns the property. It's really weirdly phrased here, but if he owns the property as well that's worth 800K, then he has good equity in it regardless, but it should be paid off because he has 53K in savings in a mortgage offset account, and you wouldn't do that dumbass crap. Let's see. So anyway, only 60K a year though. That's take-home pay. So 60 a year. So maybe 80. So, and that's gross. So I mean, maybe. So he's right, might be right there for the, if he cares, which I don't think he does. I certainly don't at this point, because it doesn't matter. He doesn't want to follow the Ramsey advice. But let's just see if there's anything else that is against the Ramsey advice, just to let anybody else know that might be interested. That might be, interested in following the actual Ramsey advice instead of bitching about it. Minimum expenditure, according to my budget, broken down into weekly cost, is $465 a week. This covers everything car related, insurances, mortgage, and house costs, utilities, and food. Okay. Why the hell can I spend another 20-30K on a mini excavator to use around my property, especially when said excavator will work will do work that will increase the property value and by extension my equity. Why is this rule of thumb based on income and not disposable income or even net worth? Because he said so. Deal with it. It's because that's too much money going down in value because vehicles depreciate, you dumbass. So just keep being a dumbass and don't worry about it. But like people take it personally for some reason, or maybe I don't know, who knows what happened. Maybe they got all excited about, I'm going to follow the baby steps and stuff like that, and it's, oh, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do all the baby steps, I'm going to do that, and then you find out what the actual advice is and find out you don't want to do that, so you're taking it personally. That you're just being stupid. You don't have to do what Mr. Ramsey would like you to do. You don't have to follow his advice. Most people will not follow his advice because they want to do their own thing just like you do. And so you're just like them, very average person that won't do that, won't sacrifice, and wants to always buy what they want to buy, and they want to debt leverage, have a freaking mortgage offset account instead of just paying the mortgage off. What a dumbass. Alrighty. Credit card's gone. Finally, this is not a dumbass. CT cat lover. Such a good feeling. All credit cards are gone. Now my snowball has an auto loan of $14K and my student loans $57K left to go. Alrighty, making progress. Very nice. Going back to school, but Dave Ramsey approved. Is it though? Let's see. Sunflower blue. Some blue. That, I think it's going to be like a biopic. I can't remember who did that song. Glenn Campbell, maybe. I can't remember, and I can't remember who they have playing him. I believe it's one of the hot male actors of today. It's not Ryan Reynolds, not Glenn Powell. I can't remember who it is though. Going back to school, but Dave Ramsey approved. Haha. Hey guys, for context, I live in Switzerland and I'm Swiss, so some things might need a little bit more clarification. I'm hoping to get some input here. I will have some for you. At the end of the day, money is money, so I imagine the core principles still apply. Exactly. My fiance and I are both 27 and recently finished our master's degrees in engineering. Excellent. He's really passionate about the field and is currently doing a PhD, which he's expected to complete in about 4 years. I've had a more complicated relationship with my studies. Yep, sometimes you go into engineering and you don't like engineering. That can happen. I've always had good grades, but I've never really enjoyed engineering. I tried really hard to love it, but I just don't. Right now I'm working part-time teaching physics at a higher level school, similar to high school, and I've started a teaching diploma. I thought maybe this would be a good way to use my degree in a more people-oriented career. Okay, but see, this would be one of the reasons why we don't take out student loans. I don't know if yours was free in Switzerland or not, but this is one of the reasons you're not supposed to take out student loans, because everything doesn't always work out. Even if you do graduate, a lot of people don't. Even if you are able to find a job in your field, a lot of people can't. Then also, you might not like it. And then you got to pay back all these student loans. But we'll read on. I did that already. Lately, though, I've been seriously considering going to medical school. Okay, let's just let's just do different things every year, and keep trying until we find something we like. I understand you can do that. Finding that out at 27, why did it take so long? I get master's degrees, and you went all the way through a master's degree. You didn't know it before then, and see, that's when people, and it's dumb. If you know you don't like it, why would you continue to put effort into it? That's the sunk cost analysis. People think because you put money into this much money into it, you need to keep putting money into it. That is a thing called putting good money after bad, and that can apply for effort as well, even if it was free in the Switzerland. Medical school, a 6-year program. Okay, so then you'll be 33. Are you ever going to be out of school ever? What if you don't like medical school? What if you don't like medicine? So at some point you gotta be realistic with yourself. What are the chances going to be that you will enjoy medical school? And what's wrong with teaching? Well, you started a teaching diploma. You don't like teaching either? You thought it would be a good way to use a degree in a more people-oriented career. You don't think teaching is a good career anymore? See, you gotta, at some point at some point you are the problem, is what I'm saying. 6-year program. I've kind of wanted to do it since I was 18 or 19. Then why didn't you do that instead of doing the master's degree in engineering? That was so dumb. But I was too scared at the time and chose engineering because I thought it would be just as interesting and more practical. It is, just not to you. It's not interesting. But it is probably more practical. Although people need doctors and nurses as well. I'm assuming you would be doing a doctor, becoming a doctor, and not being a nurse. Still, the idea of studying medicine never really went away. Every now and then it comes back into my mind and I can't seem to shake it. Yeah, that doesn't mean it's the right thing for you to do. I know it might sound cliche, but it feels like a calling. Yeah, and everything does. People say that all the time. That is a little thing. Yeah, apparently, even in Switzerland, Justification Station has a franchise there. So all over the world, everybody's always justifying the dumb crap they want to do all the time. Think about it when I walk past the university hospital, when I go to a doctor myself, or when I meet someone who's connected to medicine in some way. That's great. It doesn't mean it's a good idea. You haven't shown that you can stick with anything. What makes you think you're going to stick to medicine? I don't care how long you've thought about it. You thought about the engineering and thought, well, hopefully it'll be good. It's more practical. And apparently that's not enough to stay with it. So if you have some kind of problem with medicine in the future, that won't be a good reason to stick with that either. And then you will have wasted how much now? Don't know how long. Was that 22? So 5 years for the master's degree in engineering. And then you want to do another 6-year program. So that's 11 years, babe. 11 years. Now, granted, you're younger than I am, but that's a long time to waste your life doing it. So you need to think long and hard about doing that. I even watch or imagine this, make yourself do it anyway, even though you don't like it, because you were dumb by doing it. So you could stick with engineering and do that, or the teaching and do that. Something you've already are into, and stop trying to try something new every 5 years or so. Okay, so it was a calling. I always wanted to finish my engineering degree, and I'm glad I did, but the feeling that I'm meant to be doing something else never left. Just because you don't like it. Just because you don't like one thing doesn't mean that it's a calling to do something else. We currently have no debt, and don't say currently. You're not supposed to ever have debt. Except on a mortgage for a house that you actually live in. No mortgages on rental properties. We're in the process of saving up our emergency fund and want to have at least CHF is the currency there, is like the dollar there. 15,000 to 20,000 set aside before I start medical school. Our fixed monthly expenses, fiance, so shouldn't be living together. Money shouldn't be together until you get married. That's another thing. Fixed monthly 3,800. Finance earns 5,000 per month. Take home as a PhD student, and this will increase right within the next year because he's actually staying in his field. So that's what happens. They give you more money over time generally. For my part-time teaching job, it's only part-time. Oh, well, I complete the teaching diploma, but then I'm not going to use the teaching diploma either. That just doesn't sound smart to me. I know you got to find something to do. I just don't know that it would be medicine. Once you can't be happy with two different things that you started, then I'm going to question you. And it's possible you go into medicine and you love it and it's great and you're happy in that forever. If so, more power to you. You're the one that has to make the decision on this. But I would be very careful. That's what my advice to you would be. Very careful about committing to yourself to another thing that's going to be 6 years and you might not like it. Technically, you could live on his income alone. Okay, would use about 70% of it. Yeah, that wouldn't be great, but you would get a job doing something, I would assume. But if you have to do that, do the medical school full time and can't work at anything, that is going to be an issue. But also, you should not have your finances together, so that shouldn't be living together either. That shouldn't even be an issue until you're married. And that does transfer to any country in the world as far as advice. There's talk they might increase it to, okay, you can't count on any increases that somebody's talking about. Wait until it happens. If I decide to go to medical school, the program would take 6 years and I'll be studying full time. I likely wouldn't be working at all during that time or only very minimally. Did you happen to hashtag mention that to your fiance? They said fiance in a movie called Raising Arizona. Highly recommend. Nicolas Cage. John Goodman is in that. Oh, I can't remember the female lead. Holly Hunter. So I can. See, not today, dementia. And of course, dumb trivia like that, that would be the last stuff that I forget. I'll forget very important stuff before I forget that stuff, most likely, for some reason. After graduating at around 35, and maybe, yeah. That's the point. I would work as a resident doctor and earn between, yeah, you would if you graduate from there. Maybe, you know what? It could happen where you got an engineering degree, so not dumb by any stretch of the imagination, but maybe you're not good at the doctor stuff. Maybe you love it, but you just suck at it and you can't, maybe you can't remember, medicine names and anything could happen. There could be something that you would really suck at, and so you might not graduate. It's not 100% that you would graduate. In the longer term, if I stay in a hospital setting, I could expect to earn it right. Yeah, but see, you could expect it if this happens and if this happens and if this happens. But none of that is guaranteed. Stop being dumb. And I know what you're doing. You're spending this money already and thinking you already have it. You just have to get the DeLorean and travel to when you're 35, and then you'll find that you have all this. And I wish you actually could do that so that you see that, oh, why am I not a doctor? So I better not do that then. Don't, and that's probably the most you should get involved with it, because you don't want to change the future that much. But just change it. You could change it and not pursue the doctor. And how about stay with the teaching thing and quit being dumb? By the time I'm halfway through medical school, my fiance, who would then be my husband, will have completed his. Okay, and again, he can expect a salary. You don't know what will happen during that time, so shut up with that. The money, the dollar amount is not going to be justification for anything. It's not going to be the approval method for anything for your little plan here. As I said, my advice, probably we'll read the rest of it and see what else is on there, and too long as well, and most of it's too long because you're talking about money that may or may not happen, which doesn't matter. We're trying to decide if this is a responsible decision or if we're being unrealistic. Okay, so you're making it sound like you guys are completely together on this. Let's see. Oh, fiance is fully supportive and says he just wants me to be happy. He sees it as our degree, not just mine. Okay, well, that's great that he's supportive. And if you want to do it and he's fine with you doing it and you not working and him providing all of the expenses money, and also only have, after expenses, only having 30, like, what about housing? You can't buy a house like that, only having 30% left. Gonna take a while to save up a down payment, etc., etc. So is that fine? Is he aware of that? Yeah, he's supportive now, but maybe he didn't think about that stuff and about how you guys will have to sacrifice and live like broke college students longer. So what would Dave Ramsey say? Are we being delusional? You are, when you constantly are saying, and then I'll make this much, 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 because it's all bull crap. You are not guaranteed any of that. Or just two people, or are we just two people trying to live our lives, follow our dreams, and still be financially responsible? You see, you're trying to make it too romantic. It's not a romantic thing. Oh, I chase my dream. It's not a romantic thing. You need to quit thinking about it like that. And you need to think about it. What did you say? Your word was practical. Your words, not mine. It's, what was that? Senator Robert Kennedy, I believe. The one that's in office now. Your words, not mine. Would you pull this off if you were in our shoes? Pulling this off means making it work. Pulling it off doesn't mean, and Switzerland, maybe language differential there. Pulling it off means making it work. Trying it and making it work, not just trying it. Pull the trigger, maybe, is what person is thinking of. Too long, didn't read. I wish I had seen this before. 27 and thinking about going to medical school in Switzerland. We have no debt, saving an emergency fund, and our fixed costs would be around 70% of one income for a few years. Is it worth it? I need to know, is medical school free in Switzerland? I guess I could Google it. Is medical school free in Switzerland? No, medical school is not entirely free in Switzerland, though public universities have very low nominal tuition fees, around CHF, again, 4,000. I don't know what the exchange rate is, but per semester. So let's say that's half. So even that's $2,000 a semester. So $4,000 a year, I guess. Something like that. And where's that money coming from? Is husband paying for that as well? Or fiance, rather? Swiss citizens effectively pay through the higher taxes, right? Right. And so all of the citizens have to pay for that instead of the people that are actually getting the degrees paying for it. So very, very socialism there. However, high living costs are expense significant. It's the expense. Yeah. Yeah. Again, socialism. And some universities may charge higher fees, particularly for international students. Yeah. So this says no, it's not free. So where's the money coming from? See, that was never mentioned either. That wasn't mentioned in here either. And none of this was it. Keep saying have no debt, we have no debt, we have no debt. Where's the money for medical school coming from? Even if it is way cheaper than it is here. Again, the taxes are not. And so you're not going to be making any money during all that time. But Dave Ramsey approved, haha. Yeah, I don't know if he would approve that. It's you haven't shown that you can stick with something enough to put that much effort in. You've already put way too much effort into two things that you're not even going to stick with. So I don't have much hope for you, and I don't know. I mean, you could try it, and it could be just fine, but it seems like there's more of a chance where you could try it, and that doesn't work out either for some reason. Canadian Ramsey followers, priority secrets for investing. A lot of people spell it with the S-A-Y, and that's Gordon Ramsay. Not, and maybe that might be a more traditional Canadian spelling of Ramsey, and maybe that's why they do it. I don't know. Is it more? No, it's not. It's just this. Hello all. Quick question for Canadian followers of Ramsey about how to prioritize retirement investments. I understand the principle behind match beats Roth beats traditional. Okay. Following this principle, my wife gets a 9% match on her pension. Boop, boop, boo, doo. The problem is pensions don't make as much. And I don't know exactly if that's apples to apples with United States pensions and Canadian pensions. So you would have to look more into that. But generally, the pensions here, anyway, I won't say about generally, but in the United States, anyway, the pensions don't make anywhere near what the market makes. And so the 9% match, that 9% that the wife is putting in to the pension only counts for 4.5% of the Ramsey, towards the Ramsey 15%. Which when her contract ends will be converted to a lira. Is the lira a like a tax-free thing? Closest to a Roth that you guys have? After that 9% match, should we be focused on TFSAs for the tax-free growth withdrawal? Oh, yeah. No, that's what you do. Oh, yeah, it's match and then that. Yeah. Yeah, but the problem is it's not a 9% match. It's only a 4.5% match, even though you're actually putting 9% of your gross income, or she is, into that. Traditionally, we have Coco heavily invested in RRSPs to offset taxes because her salary is in the 130 to 140K range. Okay, we don't do things to offset taxes. We don't do different investing to offset taxes. We don't do that. That's scheming and scamming. We don't bother with that dumb crap. Stop it. And you're under the wrong impression anyway, because you probably, like everybody that asks questions about this, they think their pension is just as good as a retirement account that's invested in the market. We're at or above the 15% benchmark for retirement savings. No, you're not. Like I just said, you think you are, but you are so very incorrect. I'm just curious how others would be allocating everything above that initial 9%. You mean everything after that initial 9%? If it's something that's the initial expenditure, there's nothing above it. Maybe you meant past it. So yeah, that only counts as 14.5%. So she needs to be, if you're doing this same crap, you're in the same boat, but this is hers, not yours. And so she needs to be doing 15% and you need to do 15%. And together that equals 15% of household. And that's on gross, not take home pay. But again, that only counts as 4.5% going into that pension. And so you need to invest additionally another 11, or she does, additionally 11.5% to get up to the 15. But yeah, people are nutty with their pensions. They think they're great. People love annuities too. They think they're great, and that's a no. People love CDs, and that's a no as well. Retirement Roth conversion now. Option to convert 360 in traditional thrift savings plan to Roth TSP. I have 750K total, and then the rest is in a Roth. I can spread it over the next few years before retirement. Military in 4 or so years, but I will keep working after until probably 60-ish. Okay, AGI gonna be greater than 240, less than 310K-ish for the next 3 years. 3 to 4 years until retirement. My AGI will not go down after retirement. It won't go down until true retirement age. That's 60-ish, another decade. I have the money to pay taxes on it. If I didn't pay taxes on the conversion, I would likely invest in non-retirement taxable brokerage. All right. What it would be here, age less than 50, but close enough, right? Because you're talking about retiring in a decade, so probably close enough. And why you don't want to say exactly how long it is, doing this conversion now, and paying it, since you have the cash for that, that's what you should be doing anyway. But also, this assumes that you're also in baby step 7 to be investing more than in just retirement, because you would not have money laying around to pay taxes on something. You would put that towards the mortgage instead. Oh, retire from active duty in about 4 years. Oh, but still will be working. Okay. Yeah, still working after active duty. Thank you for your service, by the way. I have a paid off home and cars. Okay, great. We'll sell it before I move again. One more move before retirement. Stop buying houses at every port, everywhere you get stationed. Stop it. People are nutty by doing that. We'll just rent my next assignment. Should have done that all along. We'll get about 350K, and I will just throw it at my brokerage. About 120K in it now. Yeah, since you're on step 7, you got paid off home and cars, supposedly, theoretically, no debt on anything else, so you can do whatever savings, whatever brokerage stuff you want. Anyways, I've asked in another forum, but I was thinking about what would Dave Ramsey do, since I've been following his plan. Have you, though? We'll see. Seems like it's worked out all right, though. I have asked ChatGPT also. I wonder what ChatGPT had to say about it. I'm thinking the balance of 360 will double a few times in 10 years. Maybe. So the amount will be more, hence the tax on the amount will be on the growth, which will be the majority of it. ChatGPT in the other forum keeps saying this about my tax bracket when I retire matters, etc. Yeah, people love to try to come up with a reason to not do every single bit of Dave's advice. And there's but the argument for keeping the not like converting to Roth and prioritizing just like a traditional 401k. Their reason for that is, but when you retire, you'll be making less money, so you'll be in a lower tax bracket. The inflation by then may negate that regardless. But still, it's still no taxes on it at all. And so theoretically, and it would make much more sense if you had more than 10 years in the market, although you say you're going to keep working after you retire, but you will be able to start taking money out of the retirement account. But if you are going to just let it grow, then that's even better. If you don't have to take, until you have required mandatory distributions, RMDs. So in 10 years, I don't know if it'll double in it a few times. In 7 years, sure. That's been the way it's been going. In 7 years, it doubles. So, but not 10 necessarily. So I guess 14. So if he's actually 46 instead of 50, because it does say lower than, so yeah, it doesn't retire from activity in 4 years. And then, yeah, it doesn't see, it just says less than 50. Why not give the exact age? Just to make the math harder for me, probably, is why. Woe is me. But I am thinking that my heirs will pay taxes on it in the decades to come. Yeah, because you only take out what you need or what you're required to. Also, I will have military retirement coming in and Social Security, and paid for a home when I retire. Sure about that? I guess if you sell the house you're in now and just save that money, maybe put that in a brokerage account as well. If it's going to be 5 years at least, you can certainly do that and then buy a house with the money after that time. I do not like the idea of being forced to take RMDs. Well, that's how it works. What are you guys' thoughts? Since you have the cash and you can do that, it will probably end up being worth it, especially if, like, from your mouth to Wall Street's ears about it doubling it in 10 years rather than doubling in 14 years instead. But maybe you are thinking more about a 15-year timeline before, or 14-year timeline before you would retire anyway. So yeah, Dave always says if you have the money and it's like not that crazy an amount that you would owe, to go ahead and do it. And especially if you're in step 7, that's the best spot you can be in to be able to do something like that, because you're not like just got to baby step 4 or anything like that. You're not still trying to pay off a house, you're not still trying to pay off other debt. And so, and you already have a paid off house as well. And so gonna sell that, and like I said, you can keep it as well because it'll just appreciate. I don't know about being a long distance landlord. Would not recommend that. But yeah, just selling it and putting all that money. Don't use it don't invest or anything like. I mean, I guess you can invest if you're not going to buy a house for 5 years. You can put it in the market, because the market will almost certainly be up within any 5-year period. Has more chance of being down in lower than a 5-year period. That's why Mr. Ramsey's advice is like that. Guess what? He always has reasons for it. It doesn't matter if you don't like those reasons. They're still going to stay the reasons. So all you need to do with your pretty little heads, people, is you decide whether you want to follow his advice or not, and then follow it or not. You don't have to be, why is it advice like that? It doesn't matter. If you want to do your dumb crap, you can do your dumb crap. Or you can do his if you would like to do, especially if yours hasn't worked. What do you think? Why would you think your dumb ideas are going to work now? And his is proven more so than any other financial advisor on the planet. Wonder Woman 12, advice needed. I owe $3,500 on a currently 0% interest credit card, and I have until 1/9/26 to pay it off without added interest. I can either pay it in installments of $1,000 and have it paid off by then, or I could use my $4,000 in savings to pay it off today. Which option should I choose? I wonder, you know what, Wonder Woman? I wonder, woman, if this question is easily answered by the baby steps. How much does it say to have for your start emergency fund while you're still paying off non-mortgage debt? How much does it say here? Does it say have $4,000 in it? No, it says $1,000. Stop being dumb. Take a glance at the baby steps. They answer most questions. You are so dumb. Quit it. I mean, you don't even have to dive into, you don't need any other information other than to read what the baby step is there. What the first baby step. You don't have to go past the first baby step before you have an answer to this. People are so dumb. They think that their little feelings about, oh, I'm nervous about not only having $1,000, so Mr. Ramsey's advice doesn't matter. Well, if it doesn't matter, do what the heck you want to do, and don't worry about the Ramsey advice. Then you make the money. You have to live the life. You can do that. Your finances aren't going to be as good as if you followed the Ramsey advice. And right here, it's right here as well on the side panel. That can scroll. Isn't that fun? They changed that about 3 years ago or something like that. But yeah, it says baby step 1, save $1,000 as soon as possible. I don't see anything on here about saving extra money until step 3, and that's after baby step 2, where this dumbass credit card debt is already paid off. So you're doing it wrong by having more than $1,000 in savings. Stop being dumb. One confusion. 3766. No, we've had a lot of confusions today. Upgrading our house financial check. Well, first, you think whether you need to do it at all, or how much you want to do it. Don't just like spend money and do remodeling or selling one house and going to a more expensive house, especially if you're taking on more debt. Don't just say, oh, well, we want to do that. Or if it's some other dumb crap like you don't have any kids at all. And there have been posts like this and people calling the Ramsey Show with questions like this, where it's like, yeah, we're gonna upgrade the house. We're gonna get one with 5 bedrooms because we're planning on having 5 children. Have none now. Dumb. So yeah, you would not do that. You don't need to upgrade for children. That might not even happen. Throwaway account. Yeah, he's using my main and don't want financial info on there. Smart move. I'm also too scared to call the show in case Dave is on that day and chews me out. Why would he chew you out? Why would he? That's so interesting. Why would he chew you out? Is it because you're thinking about doing some dumb butt stuff, as he would say? And he actually did say that. Lady wrote in, asked, I believe she was from Ohio, if I remember correctly, but wrote in a question and wanted to know how she can work on building credit for her toddler children. And that's when he said, that is a dumb butt idea, lady. And he was right about that. Anyway, so what is it that, LOL, yeah, what is it that you're doing wrong here? What is it you're trying to do wrong here and trying to get justification for it, trying to get backup from, and you'll get it because there are anti-Dave advice people on here for sure, trolls, etc., on here that don't think he has the right advice, you know, and why they would go here instead of some kind of subreddit where that's named after somebody that they do agree with the advice. I don't know. I don't go to places where I don't agree with the advice. Weird. I just think that's weird. Let's see. My husband and I just turned 34, 2 young kids, and a starter home. It could also be the forever home. It doesn't have to just be a starter home. We want to upgrade our house eventually, but I'm fine with having a better plan before we do that. Why don't you make a better plan before you do that? And also, you said eventually, not right now. So why don't we wait until there is more of a need for it? Current home can sell for $450K, 160 at 3% interest. You know what would be great? Why don't you frickin' pay this one off first before you try to upgrade? And when you upgrade, you don't take out more debt than you already have right now. Taking out new debt is not the idea behind mortgages and constantly upgrading. You know, what are you gonna do? Move every 5 years and get a more expensive house? That's fine, but to do that, you use the equity and then money you save, not keep going more into debt. Current home gets up retirement, 401k, Roth IRA, traditional IRA, 510k, brokerage account, 500k. All right, so I mean, it sounds like they have the money to do it. Oh, but oh. Boop, boop, boo, doo. Oh, there's more here. So yeah, let's definitely find out what more there is, what other dumb crap is, because I found the first really dumbass crap here. Brokerage account, 500k. That seems like extra investing before paying off the house. It says you owe 160 on the house. You are debt leveraging. You're doing it wrong. And yes, Dave would chew you out because you're doing it wrong. Savings cash, again. You don't even have to empty the brokerage account. You could just empty the savings and take that down to 40k and pay off that mortgage. Why haven't you paid off the mortgage? Anyway, miscellaneous other cash, 40k and that, 10k each kid. House we would want would likely be $800 to $900. When you say eventually, how soon is this? You can't guess on what it would likely be, because you'd be too wrong. If this is going to be over a year from now, you don't know how much houses will be then. You're so dumb. The tricky thing is one of our incomes is highly variable, could go away completely. So by all means, let's go more into debt. You're a dumbass. You're a dumbass for doing this. Pay off your other home, and then if you can afford to buy it in cash, do it. No payments, no more mortgages for you guys. You got too much cash. You're trying to invest and trying to be sophisticated to do that. So if you want to get a bigger house, you can get a bigger house, but it's all cash. But I would be careful, since it could go away. One of the incomes could go away completely. How I would do the budget with just the other income then, and see how that works out. Once it does, that person wants to be stay-at-home parent to the 2 young kids. Okay, it's a higher income, but for this reason, we do not include it in our daily living expenses. Well, this is income. It's not an expense. So this is really weird phrasing. The other person has very stable corporate job. Pays $175k a year, including bonuses. Part of me is thinking to just write out the variable income as long as available and try to stock away around 1 to 1.5 million brokerage. No, you don't debt leverage like that. Why are you so dumb? And it's actually got what would Dave here? What would Dave do? Right here. It's got the WWDD. What would Dave do? And didn't want to call because Dave would chew her out. So is familiar with Dave enough to know that he would chew her out for it, and it's not the Dave advice. So just looking for somebody in the comments to agree with her dumbass or his. I don't know. They're being stingy with. Oh, it says my husband and I. Not that that's complete proof, but whatever. Anyway, so yeah, the advice is to do none of the stuff you're doing now. You're doing it all wrong. The no debt part, great. They're still having the mortgage and having the brokerage account and the extra savings other than the emergency fund, if that's what that is. The emergency fund doesn't need to be $200,000 though. So you're doing it wrong. And so you do need to call Dave so he can fuss you out because you're being stupid. This would then likely be 2 to 3 million by the time we're in our early 40s. You can still have a lot of money if you pay off the house with that 160. You can leave the rest of it in a brokerage account because once you get on step 7, which means you have your house paid off, then you can do your dumb crap like brokerage account and your extra saving. You can do that stuff. You can save and invest whatever you want to in baby step 7. You can do anything in baby step 7 except go down to a lower baby step. Kids will be 6 or 7 and we move then. See, you can't plan out your life that way. People always are trying to do that. Well, in 5 years, blah, 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 blah. It's fine to talk about stuff and to just think about it for a second. But when you start actually writing it down as part of on a public forum, that's too much. That's too much effort putting into it. It needs to be a lot closer before you get in this much detail with the thoughts on it. Right now, you need to be thinking about right now, and that's how about you follow the freaking Dave Ramsey advice instead of doing your dumb brokerage account and your dumb extra savings. You're doing it wrong. Also, why would, with 2 kids, why would, you didn't say other kids. Both kids are under 3. Yeah, you didn't say the kids would, you didn't say you were having other babies. So what's the bigger house for? Kids would be, and we moved then. Another part of me is tired of our starter home. See, that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing right there. I want a bigger house now. And seeing a good time to buy and thinking upgrading our daily living would be more worth it. Seeing a good time to buy is when? Now? It's probably prices are probably gonna keep going up, so it's probably better now than next year or in 5 years. Probably is, but that doesn't mean you have to or should do it. Any advice appreciated. I grew up in a very poor household and have some financial insecurities that I'm in therapy for. Do you though? You're trying to buy $1 million house. That doesn't sound like financial insecurities to me. That sounds like dumbassness. I have a lot of trouble navigating big financial decisions. Well, I understand that. But again, we're going to go back to the Ramsey advice. How about we take care of the present first? And you're doing it wrong in the present. So if you don't want to follow the Dave Ramsey advice, you don't have to. But then I will just wash my hands of you, and I don't give a crap what you do. Actually, I don't care anyway. You can go ahead and get a bigger house. Go ahead, knock yourself out. And get a big mortgage on it too if you want. It's your life and your money, but that is not going to make your finances better. And that is why I thought we were all here on this subreddit. No, some people are just on here to BS. Apparently. Local endorsed providers, mindless business 16. My CPA retired and didn't have anyone in the world, anyone he would suggest. So I looked and connected to a Dave Ramsey local provider. I told him before we started a business relationship that because of some issues I was behind in my filings, and he understood the need to catch me up. We have accomplished that. ... No, only 3 dots. Oh, and there's more dots at the end, which means it's longer. Longer than I thought it would be. But my concerns are, 1, is there going to be a 2? There's not a 2 in here anywhere. Or my concerns are 1, and B, there's not even an MB. Or 1, I get an overview of my filing in a short IRS document, but I have not gotten a complete copy of my 1040 and supporting documents. He says he usually doesn't give those to clients. Okay, so when you said you get an overview of your filing in a short IRS document, but I've not gotten a complete copy of my 1040 and supporting documents, maybe your previous CPA did that, but this one doesn't. So if there's something that you expect from them, you should tell them on the first meeting, probably. He says he doesn't usually give those to clients. My feelings is, it's either feelings are or my feeling is, I need to verify that those tax credits, maybe English, not first language, for upgrades in HVAC, water heater, and other related credits have been accurately filed. I got a great idea. Do your own taxes then. If you know enough about it to do that, do your own freaking taxes then. In addition, he is slow to respond to email, and all phone calls go to voicemail, so I'm always days from a return call and usually over 5 business days from a return email. Okay, he might not be that great a CPA. Everybody that is vetted by the Ramsey team, it turns out they can give the right answers to the Ramsey team when they are vetted, but then go back to their little state or their little city, wherever it is, and then they can just be dumb and not be a good and not do any of the things they said they were going to do. Excuses seem to continue this year. 3 over taking vacation, 2 over employees. Oh, so you took a vacation, all right. 2 over employee issues, etc. Okay. How do I get my complete set of filings to move on to a new CPA? You would have to get that from him. And if you can't get it from him, you might have to involve a lawyer. Decide to move forward, but need all filed forms and related correspondence to pick up the pieces. Thanks. You can't make him do anything. Ramsey Solutions can't make him do anything. The only thing Ramsey Solutions can do is if you call them, which you should, and let them know. That way nobody else gets screwed over by this guy. But they can't make him do that for you. So you just chose poorly on a, and granted, maybe you thought, oh, well, Ramsey vets them. That means they have to be perfect little angels. And that does not happen, unfortunately. Because they want to get the recommendations from the Ramsey brand. They want to get those referrals. And then after that, they just want to make money and not work that hard sometimes. So, and that's the whole thing. You got to know enough to know that they're giving you the wrong financial advice. Or you got to know enough to know they're not going to be good. But, I mean, I don't think from a meeting, if you just meet before you start working together, that you would know that he's going to be not provide the paperwork and also not be very fast at returning phone calls. He's probably very fast at returning the phone call to get you on as a client, though, however. And you just have people like that. You got to expect that from the world, unfortunately. Alrighty, so yes, I'd say 99% positive chance of an after show happening tomorrow. And that would be, we'll be talking about that. New to baby steps, but generally doing okay. Curious on what people think when compared to the baby steps. If it's not the baby steps, you're doing it wrong, and you're not doing as well for yourself. And doing it any different way is going to make it take more time, but we'll find out what idiocy is happening on there if it's that different than the baby steps. We'll look at that. Want to learn how to budget on an inconsistent income from trying to start my own business. Okay. When you start your own business, depending on what baby step, if it's a lower baby step, you're not supposed to put that much into it. And you build it at the speed of cash. So like if it's just built with your labor, like you go out and cut grass or something like that, the money that you get paid for cutting the grass can go into the business, but you can't put like a ton of other money into it if you're on baby step 2 or 3. That's a NAR. So we'll see what the inconsistent income, but it would basically be you budget on the lowest amount that it would be. And then that way, when those months happen, then you just don't buy the expensive stuff. Then you don't go buy the higher budget. You can have 2 different budget versions, or actually 3 different, or even however many you want. You have the lowest it would possibly be budget, and maybe like a mid-level that you do when it gets to the highest level it would be. So, but there shouldn't be a high-level budget just because you get a high level 1 month. You're going to balance it out more than that. Refinancing mortgage or no, it has to make sense. It has to, because it's not free. The bank is not your friend. They're not trying to save you money. They're trying to get money for you. So refinancing mortgage, even if it goes to a lower interest rate and you'll save money for that, you're immediately going into more debt because there is a refinancing fee, kids. So it just depends on whether it makes sense, how fast you will break even on that. 30-year mortgage should be a 15. Paying it down more aggressively following a 20-year, it should be 15-year. If you can't afford the payment on a 15-year fixed rate, then you bought too much house. But anyway, that's the short answer for the whether you should refinance or not. It has to be a very short time involved for your break-even point for that refinance fee. Closing costs. 31 man living in UAE. United Arab Emirates. Hey, I remember it. New to investments except real estate, which I now dislike. Why? Oh, why? No, real estate is great. All the financial bros love it. Are you saying you might have done some debt leverage and bought real estate and it didn't work out for you? Flipping didn't work out for you? Imagine that. Excess cash, need advice. Follow the baby steps. Always. We'll see what dumb crap UAF person is doing. Tax deductions and tithe. The tithe comes off the top for Christians. Even before, that would be tithes off gross. Not off take-home pay. If you're a Christian, now I don't know if you are doing a tithe and you're not a Christian. So I don't know. Do you personally take the deduction? I know financially, yeah. Well, are you a Christian? Or is this just something, I mean, it's a forum. People ask questions they're just curious about, even if it doesn't apply to them. They do ask that sometimes. But on something like that, I would just Google it rather than ask the hoi polloi, people in the peanut gallery. Because I often figure, well, they're at least as dumb as I am and probably dumber. Help with investing. Okay, we'll figure out what that is. Private pension in the UK. Again, we're going to have the problem with the pension sucking as an investment vehicle. Baby steps journey. Okay, we'll look at that and see what's going on there. Did anyone here pay massive debt while active duty? I'm sure they have. I have a friend. Oh my goodness gracious, what's her name? I can't remember her name. Oh, Ellie. Gosh, Ellie Fant. It's not her actual name. I don't think Ellie is her actual first name. Just a username. And her husband is in the military, and they have paid tons off. How many of you saved a significant amount of money by not buying coffee drinks often? I have saved a significant amount of money by not buying any drinks often. If I want Raising Cane's, or it's been a long time since I had Taco Bell. I haven't had that since Arkansas over a year ago. But anytime I go to pick up something like that, I pick it up and don't get the drink and save the money, and then come back home where I have a 2-liter that is the same price or cheaper than just the drink that they would give you. I have a 2-liter of the Kroger brand zero sugar carbonated beverage. And so I have saved a significant amount of that money over my lifetime since I started since I started being smart about stuff instead of being dumb like you people. So yeah, me, not coffee drinks, because I never got the coffee stuff. And I did, guess what? You ain't gonna believe it. You ain't gonna believe this, people. I thought the Starbucks prices were too high the second that they opened. So definitely, I think it's too high now to pay, what, $6, $7 for a coffee. Dumb. And so I don't get my caffeine from coffee. I get it from pap, as the people here in Ohio say, in other parts of the Midwest. Now that's not 100% of the time when I go to those places, because if I'm meeting my son at Raising Cane's, we often go there, meet each other, just have a dinner together, or a meal together, and spend time together. And there I will buy the drinks when we're doing that, because I'm not going back home to where the cheaper drinks are. And of course, yes, I hit them up with, I fill it, I refill it during the meal, and when we get ready to leave, I refill it again to take it with me. So I'm still trying to hurt them on that. So I don't know if I actually get the money I paid worth out of it compared. I don't know, but it does make it. I do get a definite refill. So I drink 2 of the, I guess, medium. I don't think they have small cups there. So I drink 2 of those, and then I get another 3rd one to take with me on the way home. And a lot of times that one's gone by the time I get home, because I'm normally also combining trips. So I'm also, like, after I have that meal with my son, hey, that's right across from the Kroger, so I can go there and have and get some groceries and such. And then also that is just down the street from the Domino's, where I get the Domino's $7.99 carry out special, and that has been the same price for the same exact amount of food since before the pandemic. And you cannot say that about most foods. You cannot say that, but that one is. So that one is definitely so, and that works out to $1 a slice. And so that's what I end up taking to work most of the days. Fun times. Oh my goodness gracious, just started talking. And so I guess I'll stop here where I was just previewing the stuff. Scared, 10K for monthly budget. Hopefully you're bringing in at least 10K so you break even, but you're not making progress there. You're just staying afloat there. Staying home during baby steps. Does that mean like not going to movies and stuff like that? Yeah. And baby steps 1, 2, and 3, you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to cut out everything that you can cut out. Some advice, please. All right, we'll leave that one to be a surprise. Normal is broken. Common sense is weird. Yeah, that's what I said. I said that earlier. The people that are dumbasses and don't want to follow Dave's advice, don't want to sacrifice, they're not willing to do the Ramsey advice because it involves sacrifice or changing what they're already doing. And yet, they're not happy with what they're already doing either. So, yeah, that's very, very average and normal. And we are the weird ones, for sure. Hit off my first 2 debts. Fabulous. Almost done here. I do have extra ones from the Ramsey Show Baby Steps community on the Facebook that I've been grabbing because I saw we're getting close to running out. All right, and that's what happens when you go over the 1 hour stream as well. All right, so fun times. Thanks so much for watching. And let's see. Once again, I'm Coach Steve Money. I'm a Ramsey Solution certified financial coach. And if you would like a free financial consultation / assessment with me, you can email me at coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Donations go to paypal.me/coachstevemoney. Alternatively, Cash App at $CoachSteveMoney. It was not taken. Or Walmart gift card to that same email address for everything. coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Upcoming stream subject to change. I did not update this yet. There wasn't an after show today, but that is 11:05, and that should be happening tomorrow, Friday, September 19. Yeah, and so as far as next week, I don't know. I'll try to find out. I don't really know my schedule for next week yet. Answering your financial question streams, 8 p.m., maybe 1 or 2 during the week, and it did end up being 2 of them because I didn't do 2 after shows that I thought I might be doing all week, and because 2 of them didn't happen, and so but those nights at 8 p.m. I did do a answering your financial question stream. All right, so I'll try to get that information. I'll check on that right now. As always, thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, comment. Thank you so much if you've done those things already. Please continue to do them. And as always, make smart financial decisions every day.